Welcome to the 2024 Agent Ong Open, presented by the Agent Ong team. The Agent Ong Open is brought to you by My Home Group, by Unwind Wellness, and by Rotogrip, engineered for performance. The Agent Ong Open is also made possible by our Lane Masters sponsors, Royal Flush Apparel, Create Proof Print, Brightside Catering, by Mark Powell, Acclaim Garage Doors, Travel 24/7, by the local caterer, TMH Websites, Saguaro Lift, and the Valley's Own. Plus, our pin crusher sponsors, Spartan Family Plumbing, Ramsey Auto Center, by the Burke Brothers, by East Valley Fans and Blinds, by Tony Fades, by Bowling Dynamics, The Crepe Bar, B3 Performance Bowling Training, by Sideline Shots Arizona, and by Swift Home Inspections. Now, live from Bolero Kyrene in Chandler, Arizona, it's the qualifying squad of the 2024 Agent Ong Open, presented by the Agent Ong team.
All right, good morning, bowling fans. We are back at the Agent Ong Open Strikes Back event. My name is Blair Blumenscheid, and that is Matt McNeil. He is here to call the action. We're watching two great bowlers right in front of us, actually.
Yeah, we got some good players on the smaller squad this morning, but we got some good players yet. We got Sam Cooley, Warren Eels.
Oh, I didn't even see Sam.
Yeah, Andrew Kane. We have Matt Zweig. So we got some good players here. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that. Okay, so I'm not first before I go out on a limb. I'm gonna qualify me going out on the limb. I'm gonna say that I'm gonna just give a little funny backstory here. So, I used to work in law enforcement in the state of Minnesota. And on the side of the state patrol cars, they had a slogan that said "Speed kills."
Okay.
Okay. And I'm going to tell you right now, on this low end, I think it maybe is different on the high end.
Okay.
Okay. But on this low end, if you want to try to play out and throw it hard, I think that's poor decision making. I'm just going to say right now, you need to heed the advice of the former slogan of the Minnesota State Patrol, and I'm going to say speed kills, because
yeah,
on the fresh with how this pattern has been constructed, I think excessive speed is just asking for trouble. I think it makes your breakpoint window very, very small. And as a bowler, I understand why they're doing it, because they're really just trying to fit the ball, and because they're very difficult. But you really can't be doing that.
no.
Trying to fit the ball is just never a good practice. It's always a recipe for disaster. I think, this is just bad. I think the speed has to be very soft, and I think you still got to be, for the most part, on this lower end. I think you got to be a little closer to the head pin.
Yeah, I'm going to go over to 4 through 8 right now, because our friends who are exceptional bowlers, Andrew and Warren, have both started with opens.
Yeah, they haven't had a mark yet on the pair.
And it just shows how challenging this pattern is. However, our B bowler down on lane 6, is that? Nope, that's not Zweig.
Nope,
Mr.
Zweig's
Zweig.
on 3 and 4, and he's got the front 3. But I think, so Zweig's using an eternity pie with some surface on it, which I like.
Smart.
He's using a bigger core and a bigger cover. That's good. And he's using softer speed, and he's really trying to
4 in a row
roll the ball and let the ball see the lane. He's not trying to fit the ball somewhere.
And Andrew Kane is on the board with a strike.
On the board. I see your margin for error being so small when you increase the speed. So it's for me, it's just like we gotta to slow things down here.
Yeah.
You got to let the ball see the lane. It has to get into a roll. It's got to slow down.
Let's see what Warren does. Warren going with the UC3.
That's just
No.
no. If I was Warren's ball rep on the senior tour, and this was a senior tour right now, and I would have pried that ball out of his hands before the lights came on.
Yeah.
And said, Warren, buddy,
what are we doing here?
We're not doing the right thing here.
Right. Yeah, because if you look around, the guys that are using surface are finding success, right?
Well, he's got surface on that ball.
Well, let me rephrase that.
Yep.
Using
reactive,
a little higher reactive even.
Yep.
Like
Stronger reactive.
bigger ball.
Yep.
Yeah, like go all the way up.
Yeah. I think the problem with the urethane type reaction is, that ball wants to read really early and then not flare a whole lot. And so you're on 44 feet and 35 mils. Well, if the ball wants to, and the fronts are like flypaper here. So it's like you're trying to get the ball to set up and kind of freeze in this just the right way and just the right spot. And it's very, very difficult. So.
Yeah, and as you can see, like bowlers that are trying to maybe throw it a little quicker are going, they're getting a lot of over-under, right? Warren has missed the head pin, not because of his skill level, because of his ball selection. And Andrew is finding something here.
Yeah,
good speed for him too.
Yeah, that was a little softer.
Yep.
Just gotta try to let the ball see the lane. And one of the things that always happens to
Matthew
bowlers,
down here. Mr. Zweig on lane 4. Let's see if he can get 5.
Yeah, he's two balling it. So he's using a 78 on lane 4, and he's using a Eternity Pie on lane 3. And once again, we were talking about the topography lane to lane here. And you just got to play each lane like it's its own golden center. So look at this. Yeah. Now watch. Can we go back to 3 and 4?
Oh, back to 3 and 4. Yep.
So now watch Zweig on the far left part of your screen. Yeah. He's going to be throwing an Eternity Pie now on the left lane. So, you got 2 totally different bowling balls. Yep, that's an Eternity Pie there, and he just stoned a 9-pin.
Yeah.
So that's good ball reaction. He's got very, very good ball reaction. But he's using an IQ 78 and an Eternity Pie. You couldn't get – that's like an apple and an anvil. It's just 2 very, very different things. All right.
Warren. Oof.
Yeah, there's just no room there.
I'm wondering if this magic gem is his on the rack, because that's a great option. Can we go to that?
Yeah, it's a gem.
Oh, it's a regular gem.
It's a regular gem,
yeah.
but I like it because it's lower RG, so it's going to spin up closer to him. It's got surface on it, so I think that would be a little better option. But you really got to be soft and smooth.
Oh, this is what I'm afraid of. So he has done that twice because he's overcorrecting, right?
Yeah.
So he's the ball reaction where he's trying to play. His ball reaction is not fantastic, and so he's overcompensating. And then again, what's he gonna do? He's gonna pull it when he's going for a spare.
Yeah, he's trying to guide the ball.
I run into this all the time because I force myself into bad reaction and don't know it's me. So yeah.
Sam just threw a 4-bagger there on the right side of your screen. And you look at Sam Cooley's rev rate, which is incredibly high, and you look how much slower he's. So that last shot from Sam was just a little over 15 miles an hour, which is pretty slow. And you got Warren with probably half the rev rate of Sam, and he's throwing it harder. So
yeah.
It's just it's a tough go, but
and he keeps looking at his hand. I think he thinks it's him. I think he thinks he's missing.
Absolutely, yeah. He's like, I got to throw it better. I'm like, well, you got to get out of that ball.
Yeah.
So no matter how good you throw that ball, it's not going to ever look very, very good.
Yeah. Now, yeah. Yeah, so he came over here. I'm listening to him a little
Talking
bit.
to Sregliano.
He is, and I heard the first thing out of his mouth was, "I'm just not staying behind the ball," which is not what I'm seeing. He's throwing it pretty good. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
We shall. We shall.
Mr. Zweig, recovering from his 9-pin, steps up. He'll be all the way to your left of the left of your screen.
Yep, and he's throwing an IQ 78 on this lane. So it's that's I think that's good instincts. Like when you're really sharp as a bowler, you can see everything very well. Rip 7, another bad break for Matt. You can see everything very well. Your instincts are very good. You follow them very confidently. So for for Matt to be two balling like this, and I mean urethane and then a resin, I mean that's impressive because you're you have to be your eyes have to be able to, and your body and your hand and your speed and everything's so much different when you're using urethane versus resin. So for him to two ball urethane and resin is really impressive.
Very. Yeah. Agreed.
Very good instincts. Very good instincts. That means you're sharp.
The strikes are slowly coming today, I see. For some folks. As we've talked about, scores have been relatively low.
Yeah. Scoring pace has been low. The fresh isn't all that easy, and then the cross is even more trying. Warren got that one up the lane.
Gets a little strike there.
Yeah.
On lanes, so we talked about Matt. We've got Ed Godbout bowling on the same pair as Matt. Michael Johnston and Brandon Lee's camp on 5 and 6. Sean Robertson and Cesar Padilla on 7 and 8. And, of course, Andrew Kane, Warren Eels right in front of us. Ryan McGuire is bowling with Sam Cooley. And Caleb Aldaco and Kayleen Almy are the bowlers we're watching. So, little smaller squad we talked about this morning. But the bowlers are coming this afternoon, we've heard. They're en route.
Should be a pretty big squad this afternoon, I'd imagine. I think most everything's very, very full on Saturday.
Oh, nice.
So, which is good. We'll have a lot of action. They're tough. They're just really hard. And when they're hard like this, it just you gotta make sure that you're you're really sticking with the fundamentals of what good ball motion is, and that's generally very smooth shapes. It's softer hands. It's smoother speeds. It's more even rolling balls, slower response balls. It's hitting the 1-3, very patient. It's that's what you got to have from. Oh boy, Drew. The mind is a really funny thing when you're a bowler. I've always said, when you see the picture, it's really easy to throw it good. Okay. When bowlers see the picture, it's very, very easy to throw it good because you feel free, you're relaxed, you're not thinking, you're just getting out there and getting it off your hand clean and getting it over your target.
100%.
And as a bowler within, you're saying, okay, all I have to do is hit my target and get it off my hand clean. And so your body just is able to do what we've trained it to do. It's very simple. It's very easy. When you don't have ball reaction, that's where we really separate what makes really great bowlers and then what makes decent bowlers. Okay. The really, really great bowlers, when they don't have ball reaction, they're still able to get it off their hand pretty darn good
Yeah.
and be able to fish around, get 7 spare, 8 spare, 9 spare, okay, so even 6 spare. And then on top of that, they don't stay with bad ball reaction for very long because they're able to make very in tune, logical, smart, quick, confident decisions. And so they're able to adjust and then return to a place where they have desirable ball reaction. They can go back to freewheeling, where you're, once again, you're just in that zone where you're getting it off your hand clean and hitting a target. So if you ever wanted me to bottle an answer what it takes to be a really good bowler on tour, that's it right there. What I just got done saying, that is it. If
100%.
you can do that, you could bowl on tour.
I could not just agree with you more, Matt. That was a really great definition of a really hard. Like you summarized it really well, right? Like finding ball reaction when there is none. That's key. I mean, this is there's no secret. We've been joking for 2 days about the Agent Ong Open pattern, and our friend Brandy yesterday said that she taglined it that it's where you miss and get 6, which I think was great, and that's true.
Yep.
Because and the higher caliber bowlers, the bowlers with more experience on patterns like this are gonna find ways to make sure they're in the part of the lane where they won't leave those really hard leaves to pick up, washouts, that kind of stuff. So we've got
Exactly. Yep.
a lot of shout outs in the chat for Mr. Caesar here, who is he's bowling very well this morning. 181 max in the 9th, going into the 10th. I should say 161.
He's got
Working on a
211,
spare. Yeah.
211 out there. Sam
Yeah.
finished with 205. Couple holes on the right hand lane. Warren's going to dig up Jimmy Hoffa before he ever shoots 190 playing that part of the lane with that ball. So
Our friend Warren, though,
I'm friends with him, so
yeah.
I can be harder on him.
Right.
He's not going to go back and watch this and take it personally.
Yeah.
I've known Warren a long time, and I've repped for him on the senior tour before, and so
he's living life as we tell some of the kids, right? So, as a youth player who's really really high caliber, and then goes and bowls in college, and then maybe goes and finds a career, which he did. He worked for
customs.
Customs, and had a great career, right? But didn't have a ton of time to bowl. So exceptional bowler, and now he gets that chance on the PBA 50 tour. So we talked a little bit yesterday about all the journeys you can take, right? Andrew Kane, another great youth player, worked through the team. Was he Team USA?
Yeah, junior and adult.
Yeah, yep. So worked his way through that system. Bowled in college. Now has a family, has a job.
Yep.
Was past president of the USBC. There's just so many ways you can go in the sport.
Yeah, I think the sport offers you a lot of opportunities if you dedicate yourself and you're truly looking for them. I've always said the biggest thing I've learned in my life is nothing is permanent. So even if you have to take something very, very entry level or something that you don't think is what you want to do, it's not going to be permanent, and you use that as a stepping stone to open up other doors. And, you have to be humble enough to say, okay, I'm probably overqualified to do job X, but, it gets me in the door, right?
Couldn't agree more. Matt, we're going to take a short break.
Yes,
Caesar did finish with 200. I'm going to go try to fix these leaning tower of cameras.
Yep. Yeah, we're going to.
So I'll be back.
Yep.
All right, folks, we are back. The bowlers have made a lane change, as they do after each game. The scores will be updated very quickly. So if you're waiting, don't worry. You won't have to wait too long. Bowlers, of course, are bowling 6 games this morning. This is game number 2. .440 bowler was up with us late last night for the action match. Appreciate you coming back and watching this morning. Tim Mack, I'm sure, will be around this afternoon to call some action. Matt McNeil is here this morning. We also will have many special guests throughout the day. Caesar fans, of course, are here watching. You see him bowling right in front of us. We also have our other camera angle this morning. We'll go back to Caesar because I know that there's his friends watching in the chat. Great shot by him. Clean through 3. It's what you want to do at the Agent Ong Open. Go take a look at past champ Matthews Week as he shoots the really tricky 3-6-9-10. That's one of the toughest pairs in bowling. I don't care who you are. It is very, very difficult. Got Ryan McGuire here on lane 9. Great shot. 10 back. All right. It looks like we got a question. Did Robert Smith buy a round? You know what? We all were quick to head to sleep, to be honest. Big day today. We have another long one. And we'll have some long days this weekend, too, which is great. Andrew Kane here. After bowling on lane 9 and 10, okay game. He follows us up with 234. Andrew Kane just shot 234.
Yeah. Yeah.
Big recovery.
Big recovery. Zweig had 268 last game. Did you see that?
I did not.
Yeah, Zweig had 268. But he's struggling this game.
Yes.
Trying not to give it all back.
I was fixing the camera. It's sort of straighter.
Okay.
We're getting straighter as the day goes on.
We're getting straighter as the days goes on. All right.
Got a big game going on lane 5. I'm gonna switch over there. I actually a big recovery of a game. Big game saver. This I think is our friend Michael Johnston. No, it's not Michael. It is Sean Robertson.
Sean Robertson.
Sean Robertson. 222 max down there. See him throw his final shot. Warren Eels did make a ball change for the record. And it's still kind of touch and go.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, 222. I misspoke. Yep. I need a new prescription. That is apparently
time to
too
get
far,
those prescriptions checked, huh?
Too far away.
So Zweig's trying to shoot 189 here and still be plus 50. A big shot for Matt. Big shot here. Now, he's in defensive mode. You can tell because he's throwing it hard and straight.
and what was it? Speed kills?
Speed kills.
Speed kills.
Speed kills.
Caesar here, too, has had a little rough go of it on 9 and 10.
Yeah.
After his 200, he shoots 192, which, is still solid.
That's
consistent.
not bad.
Yeah,
that's not bad. I mean, I think a comfortable number is plus 20, plus 30. That's the neighborhood you're trying to get into to feel very good. Keep your, as we always used to say back in the Midwest, keep your shoes on. That's a keep your shoes on number. Keep your bowling shoes on. So Matt made a spare. He's going to shoot 160 something. So he's going to give back 30 some pins. That 268.
Matt, I think we're. Oh no, we still have Warren. Warren is bowling still. Yeah. They're in their 10th frame. Then we're going to take a short break.
Yep.
This squad's going to finish quick.
They are going to finish very quick. I think you and me are going to go check out that mall after this.
Yeah.
Get some steps in.
I like it.
Maybe grab a coffee.
I'm in.
And then find some lunch.
Yeah.
So, everybody out there who is really curious about our plans for the break.
That's where we're going.
Just satisfied.
I will say, if you're in this area, if you come to the Agent Ong Open.
Good area.
Really
Very good
great area.
Yeah.
There is a lot of things to do, a lot of stuff. Like restaurants, not just the, sometimes you get in areas and you're like, okay, I have an Olive Garden, I have, the basic chains that you experience. It seems like Phoenix has some legit restaurants, right? Just noticed we left our microphone on. last night.
Oh, hey, there we go.
That'll be good.
So we're gonna pick up batteries.
Yeah,
While
we
we're
are.
While we're out for lunch, we're gonna pick up batteries.
That is definitely one of our stops for
Yep.
sure.
All right. Too bad they don't have Radio Shacks anymore.
Oh, the classic.
So I'm talking about white and yellow pages. Now today I'm going to talk about Radio Shack.
Oh, Radio Shack was so fun
I
when you were
loved
a kid.
I can't tell you how handy Radio Shack was. Like, I loved Radio Shack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there was a store in Vegas that was recent. What was the name of the electronic Fries? Man, that one was good too.
Yep.
And it's gone.
It's gone.
Good old Amazon. Good old Amazon. You know, I walked in Best Buy one time. That now we're off subject,
yeah,
but we have one more shot.
Best Buy is a graveyard.
I walked in Best Buy looking for a cord, and it was not like an emergency cord. Like I just was like, I'm gonna go support a Best Buy.
Yep.
And literally, the guy was like, "Yeah, we don't stock this stuff. Go on Amazon."
Yep.
I'm like, "Excuse me?"
Yep.
I'm like, "Okay, cool."
Circuit City.
That's another great one.
Fitz is back in with some more knowledge.
We miss you, Fitz.
Yeah,
Stay
missed
right
you, Fitz.
there.
Yeah.
We'll be right back. We're gonna let the bowlers change lanes, and we're gonna take a short break.
All right.
We're back.
We're back. So, okay, here's what we want. We want to do defunct electronic store chains.
All right.
Here we go. Yep. Come up. If you guys got them, put them in the chat. We want to hear about defunct electronic store chains.
Does Blockbuster count?
No, because that was video rental.
Okay, video rental. Yeah.
Technically, one still does exist on the West Coast somewhere.
Way.
Yes, there still is an actual Blockbuster.
Gosh. Did you have the Blockbuster member card? They had your little card.
Oh yeah.
So great.
We had Hollywood Video.
Oh, Hollywood Video.
Hollywood Video. Yep.
Yeah. All right. Focus on electronic stores though.
Yep. We want to hear about defunct electronic store chains.
Fry. Yeah, Fry. Fry was I loved that
Yep,
place. That
Fry's.
place was like a gold mine in Vegas.
It
You'd
was
walk
cool.
in and you'd never know what you'd find.
Oh, I'm gonna come up with one. Sharper Image.
That was a good one.
Remember the Sharper Image?
Mhm.
That was like everything you didn't know you needed
It was great. And
was
it
at
was very
Sharper Image.
expensive.
Yes, like all the massage chairs and
Oh,
like health beauty like electronics, and
it's
then you had
fantastic.
the massage chairs and
The pillows. They
the-
had like pillows.
they had everything
Yeah.
in
Store was fun.
Sharper Image.
I just walk in. I never bought anything there,
Yep.
which is how I see how it went out of business. But I always went in.
Brookstone. There's another one.
Brookstone.
Brookstone.
Yep,
Remember Brookstone?
I do.
Yeah. That was another thing. Everything you never knew you needed
Yeah.
was at Brookstone.
I'm trying to think. There was like, there was play in the name of it. I can't remember the name of it though. It was a bigger store. I'm gonna have to Google it. Wasn't media? Was it Media Play?
Media Play, yeah.
Media Play. Yeah.
Yep.
That one
Oh
was
my.
that was a random one too. You had
Yep.
like everything.
Radio Shack, yep.
Radio
Virginia,
Shack.
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're talking about the good old days of the shack
Yeah.
of radio. They had so much cool stuff. Like I
did.
remember they sold keyboards and like they had like some musical stuff. They had speakers, audio, and then they had every connector, every cord. They had soldering irons,
Yeah.
solder, sound systems. They sold. They really did have everything. Like if you needed a resistor, Radio Shack was your place. Like, and if you just needed one or two, like so, you could just go there and get one or two resistors, or if you needed a capacitor, or if you needed, I don't know. I'm nerding out because I used to do electronics as a kid or as a teenager, I should say.
So here's another business that went completely out of business.
Yep.
Or type of business, because I don't think these exist anymore, and I could be wrong.
Yep.
And someone in the chat will correct me if I'm wrong.
Yep.
But when I was a kid, now you see kids that are like on a road trip, they're handed an iPad, which is very convenient because
Yeah.
you got games, you got videos, you got all kinds of stuff,
Yeah.
right? When I was a kid, my parents, if we're going on a road trip, they would buy individual little games
Yes.
that you would play, like
Yeah.
Tetris, and like everyone was one individual game.
Yes, like the little handheld. There was a company that made those, like Tiger something,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, and I had like probably 8 or 10 because I
Yeah.
had ADD, and so I would only play them for like 5 seconds.
They
and-
all operated off the same screen though, like that really bad, like a calculator screen,
Yeah, you can barely see it.
Tiger
You're in the car.
Electronics. See,
Yeah.
Fitz is coming through.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. But yeah, it was great.
Yep.
Those things were awesome. And then they came out with Game Boys and
Yep.
all the things.
All right, so we need to make a couple graphics too. We need a black
Oh,
cloud
I
graphic.
forgot the black cloud.
And you know what? I also would like to do,
Yeah.
and I'm just excited about it because I don't have to do the work and you do.
Yeah.
But I think we need to have like a 4-bagger or 5-bagger alert.
Yeah, we can
Like
do that.
where
That's easy.
where we get the screen to flash or we get something in there, and so we can say, "Oh, 4-bagger alert," because it's a big deal on this stuff, right? I think if you get a 4-bagger, we should send out an alert, like when you're at the casino and somebody hits a jackpot.
Yeah.
And the
You
whole
get the-
casino gets to know that somebody else is actually winning some money, while
Yeah.
you are not, and
Yeah.
getting your face kicked in.
I always wonder how they're doing it. I'm like, oh, someone is actually taking
How do
the
people
money.
win jackpots? That's what I want to know.
While we're on this subject, because it's a fun subject for all of us, degens in bowling, we like a good gamble every once in a while.
Mhm.
Resort World in Las Vegas. I went for the first time.
Yeah, nice place.
recently. Very nice. Dinner. I highly recommend the food court there.
Mhm.
If you just have a group and you all want to
Yeah.
eat different things.
There's a speakeasy behind one of the restaurants in the food court.
Did not know that.
See,
I need to go with Matt McNeil.
You need to go to Vegas with Matt McNeil. I'm telling you.
But here's what I will tell you: do not gamble there.
No.
I can't believe how quickly my money
Oh,
disappeared.
it's gone.
Yeah, I was like, I'm just next time gonna go eat dinner, gonna hang out, enjoy the beautiful newness of this wonderful casino, don't put any money in
Yep.
a machine.
Yep.
Just listen to me,
Yep.
please.
Do you
I
remember
plead.
the VTech computers,
Oh,
like where you could
yes.
play like some games and
I
do
think
spelling
VTech
and
still
counting?
makes stuff.
Does VTech still make stuff?
For kids. I think there's some educational, so like parents that are trying not to hand their kid an iPad. There are some,
Educational toys,
yeah,
right?
yeah, that are just locked down. So,
S-
which good job to parents that are trying.
So I remember, and I got it at a garage sale, but it was one of my, I loved doing it. So I had, um, yeah, yeah. Carl does like Resorts World. He also likes the Wynn
Yeah.
because Carl treated us to the Wynn buffet.
Ah, nice.
Yep, he treated us to the Wynn buffet, and we got to go to the front of the line because Carl's status.
Ah.
And you don't get that status by betting, 50 cents a hand at video poker. I'm just telling you that much right now.
Yeah.
Yep.
For sure.
Yep. But so, anyways, I remember on road trips, I had this thing I got at a garage sale. It was called an electronics lab, and it was this huge kind of like it almost looked like a circuit board, and it came with wires, all these connecting wires, resistors, capacitors, and this huge instruction manual, and was all these electronical experiments that you could make using this lab.
Okay.
And so you'd have to look at, every, like you could, it had an LED indicator on the front of it. It had a speaker for sound. It had light bulbs. It had all this stuff. And so you would build these, quote unquote experiments to get them to do stuff. And, it would take because you had to connect all these wires and plug in resistors and everything else. So it would take a good long while of reading these instructions.
Yeah.
To set up to get it to do, to get everything to do what it did, and that was cool. I loved playing with that toy.
Yeah, that sounds great.
It was fun. I don't know. It was a simpler time.
It was.
Like
Yeah.
I didn't have a cell phone attached to me.
No. Shout out to Steve Jobs for
Steve Jobs.
he changed the world. He said he was gonna.
Well, and he destroyed BlackBerry.
Just
those
destroyed.
Those poor.
Did you watch
people.
the movie? I haven't
I
watched
did. It
this
was
movie.
good. It's actually really good.
I've heard this movie's really good.
Yeah.
I have not watched it yet.
It's a cult. I think it's a cult classic.
Okay.
It's kind of cult classic-ish. We got another 4-bagger alert.
I know.
It's a 5-bagger actually for Sam Cooley.
Well, a 5-bagger has to be like a jackpot,
like a slot machine, and all the reels light up 777.
Yeah. We'll have to. And then there's a 4-bagger alert on 8. See?
Yep, 4-bagger alert.
I don't know. We're gonna have to see how 2 p.m. goes because.
How about let's make it 5-bagger. Let's make the
5-bagger.
cutoff 5-bagger.
Okay.
Let's do that. 5-bagger alert. And then so they still make these electronic labs for kids. And even for adults that maybe would want that, I enjoyed playing with Legos.
Yeah.
You like Legos?
Loved Legos. And if you listen, if you're watching and you don't want to listen to us talk about random things today,
Put mute.
you can mute.
Yep.
However, what I was going to say is you also can go to YouTube on a different device or on your device that you're watching. Just go there and go to the Lego YouTube channel. And Matt, I would encourage you to do this too. There's an animation that they did for one of their anniversaries that's I think it's 3 or 5 minutes, and it tells the story of the beginning
of Lego.
Yes. And it is fantastic.
It's a Nordic history.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lego
it's so
is like Scandinavian.
Right.
Yep.
And the owner was a builder. He was
a wooden
contractor.
toy maker.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
But no, he started as a contractor and his business failed.
That's right.
Yeah,
and then he
then
started making wooden toys,
correct.
right? Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. There's a documentary on Netflix about him.
Really?
Yeah, which is really good about the history of Lego. So, little known fact, I'm gonna kind of pat myself on the shoulder a little bit here.
Nice.
Not that I haven't done it before, but I was in Minnesota. We used to have actually a statewide uh, Lego tournament, like a
Okay.
challenge. And so it was at the Metrodome, and you'd go out onto the field where the Vikings played because it was in the wintertime every
Right.
year and was sponsored by Lego. And you would get a bag of pieces, and then you'd have 30 minutes to build something. And they had different ages and divisions, right?
Yeah.
So in 1996, when I was 11, I won my division
Wow.
for it was like the 10 to 12 age range or whatever. And so I was technically, however you want to put it, I was a state Lego champion back in the 90s.
That's fantastic.
Yep.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
And I got the Wild West sets had came out, and so I got like the entire collection of the Wild West Legos. So I got like the Fort Legorado, it was called, the bank, the sheriff's office, the bandits hideout.
That's
like
awesome.
I got it. I mean, back then it was probably like $300 worth of Legos.
Absolutely.
You know,
well, actually, it wasn't. They didn't start really raising the prices until recently, I guess.
yeah, like the big sets used to be like $50.
Yeah, that's right. They weren't out of control. Now they're insane. You can spend $500 a set.
I mean, so
but there's a lot of pieces.
There's a lot of pieces.
Yeah.
So I remember about 11 years ago, I had a huge collection of Legos. You know, it was just random pieces. Some of the sets were built just in boxes and they were still assembled. I sold my entire Lego collection for like over $1,000 on eBay.
Oh wow! It could have been more.
I'm sure if I would have held on to it,
it could have been
it could have been a lot
insane.
more.
Yeah,
I should have held on to it.
Yeah, but that's impressive still.
You know.
But yeah, so when I was a kid, my dad did some European travel, and it sounds all glamorous. Everyone, anyone that travels knows it's not. But however, I loved Legos, and they had not brought, like, now when you go into a Lego store and you have a daughter or a young lady, there are options for girls, right? There's Disney princesses.
And $257 for Sam Cooley
down
awesome. On 3 and 4. That might be. I think that's high game of the tournament. No, it's not, because we had 268 on 3 and 4.
Yeah,
we've heard just doomsday predictions about 3 and 4 from the locals.
We have. Everyone says 3 and 4 is the worst.
It is bad. So, anyways, we got 268 and 257 so far on 3 and 4. So take that, local legend.
Yeah, 3 and 4 is fine.
Take that. All right. So, anyways, back to the Lego conversation.
Yeah. So now they've made a variety of colors and options and characters, but when we were kids, it was like mainly targeted at boys.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, but girls liked it, right? We played it. We loved it. My dad went over to Germany, and now they called it. They've changed it in the U.S. now, but it used to be Belleville.
Okay.
And it was a very fantasy-driven thing. So it was like castles and princesses and
that's cool.
Kings and queens. And he would bring these sets back, like one at a time.
Yep.
So I would have to wait for him he went once a year.
Yep.
I would wait for him to go, and he'd bring back a set, and I never would know what it was. And now they have changed it, and I'm pretty sure they've made it like Believe instead of Belleville.
Yep.
For us Americans. But it was great. And so I had some, like, actually, they're probably still in my parents' basement, not together as a set, but there were some crazy sets that he brought back that you couldn't find anywhere else. They were only available in Europe. Yep. All right, folks. So outside of the 257 this game, scores have dropped.
Yeah, we had 199 in front of us here with Brandon Leeskamp. And then that's it.
Yeah.
Well, wait. Letter A on 13 or 14 can shoot 210. So we could have 200 games this round.
Yeah. Well, and actually, Warren Eels, look at he's put together a solid game.
Warren Eels is trying to claw back a little bit.
We're back to the UC3 down there.
Yeah, and that's just yeah. We we talked him up, and he goes high flush Brooklyn.
Yeah, there you have it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and Mr. Zweig.
He's trying to hang on to that big start.
Yeah.
So he's got 199 out there, which I think that's even if he fills out, it's 199. So okay, make your spare here, Matt. Put a couple good shots together on lane 7 in the 10th. Take your 199. You're still
solid.
20, 30 over.
Yeah.
For 3, and I think you need to throw. I think you need to do a little fishing in your fill ball.
Made the
I
spare.
really do.
Made the
I
spare.
think that that further outside part of the lane, I think is front to back is not very hospitable right now. I think he's got to get a little more into the middle part of the lane. I think all signs point to yes, get away from that part of the lane. Be like if you ask the Magic 8 Ball, remember the Magic 8 Ball?
Oh, Magic
All
8
signs
Ball.
point to yes.
Yeah.
See? Yeah. Yeah. Matt's getting it off his hand pretty good. It's just not getting to the spot. So make your spare here, Matt. Calm down. Take your time. Run the spare over, and then, take about 2 steps to the left and throw the same ball, and I think you're going to have a better result. Or Neal's going to shoot low 220 or
good.
high 210, one of the two, depending on what he gets in the fill here. All right.
Warren, throw it. Warren just picked up
UC3 again.
for the fill ball.
I'm going to I didn't mind the UC3, but I'm going to take that ball out of his hands and hide it in the trunk of our rental car. Warren, you cannot throw this ball anymore. It's in timeout.
Oh my goodness! I mean,
ball's in
but
timeout.
how good is he to out throw or out bowl this? Reaction right now.
So, we used to. Eric Vermelia used to tell me the same thing. He goes, "You're the best at out bowling bad ball reaction." I go, "What do you mean?" He goes, "You're playing the lanes like a complete idiot." I go, "Really?" He goes, "Yes."
That's awesome.
This was when I was young and naive.
Yeah.
and I didn't know a whole lot about bowling except for how to get it off my hand decent.
Well, we talked about it yesterday a little bit about how challenging the sport is. And that is a big factor too, because there is the old school mentality, if you will, old school, of I can throw it better. Like I always can change my hand, which it's important for kids to learn different hand positions. I'm not saying that you shouldn't practice that and different releases. And I mean, Jillian Martin has about 500 different releases she can use on the women's tour. But the modern game is a lot of surface and the right ball at the right time. Unfortunately,
it's more of a chess game. The modern bowling for people that aren't two-handed.
Right.
Right. is like playing chess against a grandmaster.
Yeah.
You have to really be thinking 5 moves ahead because everything happens a lot quicker with the increased amount of rev rate that's out there. So you have more rev rate, more surface, so the changes happen quicker. I mean, we're trying to add more oil, and 10
you were
years
joking
ago,
about bathing in oil.
yeah,
this
I mean,
weekend.
10 years ago, if you said 35 mils, people are like, what? Like 25 was healthy back then.
Right.
Now we're saying 35, and we're like, well, we might need to go to 45. I mean, when does it end? It's like, it's like, think about Cold War. Like, well, we have, 900 nuclear missiles, and the Soviet Union had, 800 nuclear missiles. Well, we need another 300 nuclear missiles. I mean, when all it takes is, whatever to destroy the world over. So I know that was kind of dark, but
it's true.
But what I'm saying is, when do we draw a line and say enough's enough?
Absolutely.
Just, well, So, anyways, modern day bowling, if you if you use your thumb, I think it's like playing chess against a grandmaster. You have to be able to think 5 moves ahead because everything changes so quickly. And so you have to be prepared. Like, okay, once this ball starts going away and it starts leaving a soft 10 or 4 pins, and I make a move and it's going to do this again, I know I got to get out of it immediately. I know I got to go to this ball, and it just has to be all in committed, right?
100%.
So you're like, okay. And you have to have your day planned out. Like, you have to say, once this ball goes away, it's going to be this one. When this ball goes away, it's going to be this one. And when it gets to this one, I'm going to be using this release with this speed and this angle. And you have to be able to outthink everybody and out decision make everybody. I think there's, when you take the thumb out of the ball, bowling becomes so much easier for you. Like, if you don't throw the ball two-handed nowadays, to me, without being super derogatory about it, but I'm going to be a little derogatory about it, like, not making a decision to not pick up the game of bowling not two-handed is incredibly silly.
Yeah.
Because the advantages of throwing the ball two-handed are just incredible.
Well, it reminds me in tennis of the one-handed backhand.
Yep.
So there were when I was learning tennis, when I was in middle school, there were some coaches that refused to teach the one-handed backhand because fundamentally they wanted to teach the two-handed backhand. They didn't feel like you should take your hand off of it. They felt like it was lazy. They had all these reasons
Yep.
not to teach it.
Yep.
And then there were other coaches that were like, it's easier.
Yep.
It's you're ready quicker
Yep.
because you're already kind of moving in that direction, and uh, they were teaching it.
Yep.
So, and now when you watch tennis, nearly everyone you watch can do both.
Yep.
Right. And I think that at some level, bowlers will be able to do both. The kids know how to bowl one-handed and two-handed.
Yep. And the two-handed people can back it up now too.
100%.
So they can play every part of the lane incredibly effectively. Did Sam Cooley just make that? Sam Cooley just made a 3-4-10 on lanes 5 and 6.
3, 4.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep. He just made that. That's crazy. Good for you, Sam.
I apologize for not having the camera on that lane down there. I was watching Mr. Lee's camp because
that was so good.
Yeah.
And
Man.
I wish I could beg Matt to get away from that part of the lane. Stop throwing, especially stop throwing that 78 out there. Dude, it is game 4. You're on 44 feet that's turned into 50, and you're trying to throw urethane from, 6-7. Sir, let's not do that anymore, because that well is not going to yield water anymore.
Yeah, and this goes to show everyone that's watching that may not be, maybe they're in the Phoenix area and haven't signed up for the Agent Ong Open. Come out and give it a go. See what it's truly like, because sitting back here, it is so simple to see.
Oh yeah, for us it's easy.
Yeah, we're
the peanut gallery,
Yeah.
It's easy.
Yeah,
because we can see everything going on, and we're not emotionally invested in it, so we can see everything that's happening
and see what's working and see what's not. When you're bowling, you might not be able to watch, say, Warren Eels, right? We see immediately, we're like, man, that might not work for him, because we've been watching 2 days of bowling.
Yep.
Well, 1 day of bowling, felt like 2, but 1 day of bowling, and we saw what worked yesterday, right?
Absolutely.
Bigger balls are kind of working.
Yeah, the bigger balls, I think, if you want, you can give the outside part of the lane a go for like a game and a half.
Yeah.
But after that, it goes away
Very quick.
and you need to get into the center of the lane, and I'm sorry, like, if you want to argue with me, feel free, but I mean, I'm just going to point at the standing sheet and tell you how people did it. You know, if you want to go to the top of the standings sheet, Brett Wolf was slow hooking the lane. You know, more in the middle part of the lane, kind of just slow wheeling it.
So was Sean.
So was Sean.
Yeah.
So was Chad Lucy.
Yep.
Okay.
Chad had an unreal
And
look.
he was throwing a sublime focus and
Yeah.
just kind of slow curving it.
Yeah.
You know, so like if you want to have a chat with me, stop on by the booth and we can talk about it. But man, I'm just going off of the numbers.
Yeah.
And that's what the numbers are saying.
Well, and here's the other thing to remember, right? You don't. I mean, now you are going into the cashier's round. You are gonna try to get into a bracket.
Yep.
But if your goal, like, you have to know what your goal is going into this tournament, right? Is your goal to lead or is your goal to make the cut? If your goal is to make the cut, why are you trying to do something that only works for a couple games or so, or trying to do something that you think is right against what the other group's doing, just when your goal is to make the cut? You just got to make it in.
Well, so I'm going to quantify that answer, if you don't mind.
Go for it.
Okay, because I think you touched on a couple good things that I really like. You should have a goal for the tournament, right?
100%.
Okay? Now, when you said lead or take or make the cut, what those are outcome goals. Okay,
True.
right?
Yep.
So those goals are based off of a series of processes, okay, which are outcomes. Now, outcomes are out of our control.
Very true.
What is in our control is processes, okay? And every time I go bowl a tournament, I have a set of 4 process goals, okay? The first one is to manage my bag appropriately, okay? And I'm not going to make every right decision, okay? But my goal is to stay observational, and we just talked about how important it is to observe.
Right. Look around.
Look around.
Yeah.
What is working? What is not working? You know, if somebody's shooting 250, how are they shooting 250? What ball do they have?
Right.
Where are they at the arrows? Where are they down lane? What's their ball speed? Are they rolling it? Rotation. What type of ball are they using? Is the pin up? Is the pin down? You know, is it a solid? Is it a pearl? Is it symmetrical? Is it asymmetrical? Okay. You have to be a human computer. You really do. Okay. So for me to manage the bag properly, right, I have to stay observational. Okay. My second goal is to stay 100% focused on second ball. Okay. So that means I'm not thinking about anything else except for putting the ball online on second ball. Okay. And that's very difficult.
Yeah.
I'm going to
Yeah.
tell you right now, these goals are not easy. Okay. It takes a lot of work. Okay. Third goal is to make unbiased, well-educated decisions. Okay. So don't get into panic. What that is just don't panic. Don't make decisions out of panic. Okay, because when the mind starts racing, the heartbeat goes up. You start making decisions that are not well thought out. Okay,
True.
so I basically all I'm saying to myself in a nice professional way is do not panic and take a deep breath, reset, make informed decisions. Okay, and then the last one is do not say anything negative to yourself. Okay. Negative self-talk is incredibly demonstrative because your body is a very good listener, whether you believe it or not.
Yeah.
And if you keep telling yourself you are unworthy and you are not qualified to be there and you cannot execute a good bowling delivery,
That's what you're going to do.
and anything else,
Yeah.
your body listens.
Yeah.
Your subconscious listens to that, okay? So those are the 4 simple goals that I carry with me into a tournament, and they're all process goals because I can control them. And so whatever happens with my pin carry or with the lanes or with anything else, it doesn't matter because
Right.
if I stick to my 4 things, generally speaking, I'm going to be able to be competitive. And
Great tips.
you can easily, these are things that are easily measured by yourself upon reflection, right?
Yeah.
You know, I was pretty good on second ball, except for, when I whiffed that 10 pin game 5, frame 3, because I got frustrated. And I just didn't focus. I just didn't take my time. So you can say, okay, there's something I can tangibly look at and build off of for my next appearance, right? And it's not like, well, if I went to followed bowler X in third game or hit bowler Y's starting pair, then this would have happened. Or if I would have, tripped this or carried that, or if this messenger would have connected, then that's all outcome stuff that's out of your control.
100%. Yeah.
Focus on what is in your control, ladies and gentlemen.
GT says no such thing as positive self-talk after missing a
Well,
5-pin.
that's very true. That's incredibly true. Yep. Thank you, GT, for that wisdom.
Yeah.
Because that's hard to be positive after that. You know what you do? You don't be positive, but you don't be negative. Just be Switzerland on it. Okay.
Just walk away.
Just have a short memory and walk away and just tuck that one away.
But you bring up a lot of great points, and to GT's point, if like we saw it last night, when you're in a high pressure situation and pressure comes differently, right? Like this is a 6-game qualifying block, and to our defending champion here, Matt, he might not feel incredible nerves quite yet, or he might. But if this is your first outing at a tournament like this, you might game 1 be really incredibly nervous, right? And it's so easy to miss a 10-pin, and then it gets in your head, and your self-talk is bad, and then you miss another 10-pin.
Compounds.
And then you've missed 7 10-pins.
Because you're in your head.
Absolutely. It's so easy.
You're not sticking to your process.
Yeah.
And your process is unique to you.
Right.
Okay, so Kyle Troop has a process. Okay. Simonson has a process.
Yeah.
Belmo has a process. Blair has a process.
For sure.
Matt McNeil has a process.
Yeah.
Okay. Your process is individual to you, and it's something that helps keep your mind slow.
Yeah.
Because it's like a standard operating procedure, right? Every time you get up, you go through a mental checklist of what you're going to do, right? So I know where I'm going to throw this ball, how I'm going to throw this ball, where it's going to see at the arrows, where it's going to get to down lane, how it's going to get off my hand, how that's going to feel. I see it going through the pins before it happens.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's called imagery, and that's another really good mental exercise to do.
Yeah, I mean, I bowl 3 games of league a week. I don't really bowl tournaments much anymore. I bowl nationals once a year. I have had the same song in my head anytime I'm shooting a spare for 10 years, 12 years.
Yep.
It's the same one. I never changed it. I have to clear my head. If I don't clear my head when I'm shooting a 10-pin, I will miss it. It's just, I know. And I know what the song is, and it's easy to remember, and that's just it.
Yeah. You know what a great tip from Del Ballard was? I learned this.
What's that?
I learned this as a young man through Bo Burton.
Yeah.
Okay, but then when I got to actually work with Del on the road, I asked him about it so I could get the real skinny, because Bo Burton would, what's the word I'm looking for? He would embellish sometimes,
Sure.
or just completely lie.
Sure.
Anyways.
Yeah.
So I asked Del, because Bo would say that Del would play a song in his head of the tempo that he was trying to create that day. Right?
Yep.
And so then I asked Del about it. And Bo said the Beatles. Okay. And so I'm like, I didn't know. Del doesn't strike me as a Beatles fan.
Me neither. Yeah.
He's a slightly older gentleman, so maybe he's around in the 60s.
Beatlemania.
No, well, let's hear. Still around in the 60s? Yeah, I think he was around in the 60s. And so anyway, so I asked Del about it. He goes, Beatles? Screw that. I listen to Metallica. But he goes,
sounds like Del.
I would have a fast, when I needed to throw the ball hard, I had a fast rhythm song in my head. When I needed to throw slow, I had a ballad in my head. When I needed to throw it in between, I just kind of had a in-between tempo in my head. But I would keep singing that song in my head to keep my conscious mind quiet.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what we call getting into the zone.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to do it. And
Is-
and it's unique for everyone, like
Yeah,
you said, right? Like you can't tell Dell, "Hey, you need to sing I don't even know, Taylor Swift in your head."
I think he might laugh.
Yeah.
He might give you a look. You might
Yeah.
get a look for that one.
He'd be like, excuse me?"
Yeah.
Yeah. But Metallica works. So, all right, our folks here, this is our friend Ed. Ed bowled a 205 game. Fantastic. Really, really strong. We did have a question. Can you come and watch this tournament live? 100%. We're at Bolero Kyrene. Matt will list off this. Are there specials tonight?
Not tonight.
You missed all the
drink
specials.
specials are gone.
All right.
Those are gone.
There is like a pizza special though every day, I
Is
think.
there?
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
So there's some good, like, come out for dinner. I did hear a rumor that we will have some professional bowlers making their way
To town, yes.
Yeah, so you might you mentioned Anthony Simonson.
Tane,
Mhm.
Bricote.
They are coming in addition to the ones that are already here.
Yep. Come watch him bowl.
Yeah.
You know, we just got done talking about processes and mental stuff.
Anthony's amazing.
Come watch him bowl.
Yeah. Every player that you, like, if I went up and asked Matt right now, who has bowled against Anthony Simonson, and asked him, like, what do you think of Anthony Simonson's game? Everyone says it's just no one can do what he does. His thought process, his decision making, like, it's different.
I'll say this because I've watched Anthony bowl, and you know Tim's going to have way more insight on this because Tim reps him on tour.
For sure.
I've repped Anthony. I've helped Anthony with a couple of small decisions. You know, I can count on one hand. Okay. You know, every now and then he'll ask me, bless me with his presence and ask for something. But but I will say, having watched Anthony win some tournaments when I've been there, when he is really, really focused and very, I'm just going to use the word focused. When he's very focused on what's going on, I don't think there's anybody that can beat him. I think when Anthony doesn't perform the way he feels he should, he got in his way more than anything else.
Yeah.
Okay? And it's not a knock on Anthony. I have the utmost respect for him. But it's just when his mind is not really, really focused on just what he's doing and reacting to what he's doing out there. You know, when he's super focused, I don't think there's many people on the planet that can beat him.
No,
I
agreed.
think when Anthony loses, he beats himself.
Yeah.
So there you go. And take that as it is, and it's not a knock on anybody. It's just my opinion of when he doesn't perform to the level that he feels he should, I think that's the reason why.
Oh, I 100% agree. Yeah, Danielle McEwen.
There is somebody who has one of the best mental games I have ever
100%.
seen in my life.
Yeah.
If you want to talk about somebody who is a true professional, follow her on all her pages.
Fantastic.
Please go out and follow her on her pages because you see her working out, practicing. She does everything right.
Yeah, eats healthy. Just awesome. But she told me that when she bowled with, she was on the morning bowl, and she said that bowling with Anthony Simonson at the Lucy has been just an eye-opening experience, right? Because it made her make decisions quicker.
Yep.
And be confident. Like he can go from making a ball change in one frame to the next making a zone change.
Yep.
And it's nothing.
Yep. It's not going to work out every time. But
No,
like I said,
yeah.
it goes back to that whole thing about playing chess, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because of all the rev rate now that we have in our sport, everything happens quicker and more exaggerated. So you have to be playing chess. You have
Yeah.
to be thinking 5 moves ahead. And so the moves get quicker, they get bigger, they get more pronounced, and you're doing just a lot of different stuff. So like, you know, even in league,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I've shot, to use myself as an example, I shot 848 with 3 different balls. I shot 300 and switched balls, and I had 5 people come up to me and say, "Why did you switch balls?" And I go,
Right.
"Because if I stayed in it, it was only going to give me 220."
Right.
And I go, "I'm not here. I'm not at league for 220. I'm at league for 279, 280." Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so why fight a ball that's going to go away? Because it's going to go away in 4 frames.
Yeah. Agreed.
Okay, so once again, you got to go back to being able to play chess
Yeah.
and not checkers.
Do you move in a 300 game?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're
I think
moving.
that is
Absolutely.
the unknown fact. Everyone always talks about wanting to bowl 300, and sometimes you can get very lucky and not have to move.
I've seen it. Yes,
Yeah.
it happens.
But for the most part, because bowlers always ask the pros like, how many 300 games do you have, or but I think that is the unknown factor for a lot of amateurs is you move in a perfect game. It
And-
just doesn't happen. So
And I tell you what, the really committed people I've seen shoot 300 with 2 different balls.
that's awesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because they can see something going away, and then they ball change and move, zone move, and then keep it going. Once again, those people are playing, they're grandmasters. They're playing chess. They're not playing checkers. And they're able to make decisions quickly and confidently without emotions attached to them. And if you talk to, like, here's a great example, okay? Talk to a financial advisor,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
If the market loses 1,000 points, people start to panic and
Yeah.
they call their guy and they're like, "Oh my god, my 401k
Right.
and all
Pull
my
it.
investments."
Pull it.
Yeah, sell every.
Yeah.
Why would you sell low? People who make emotionally based decisions
Yeah.
in business always lose.
Oh yeah.
Okay, it's the same thing in bowling. If when you get emotional and you start trying to make decisions, it's a train wreck.
Oh yeah.
So that's why I said you got to stay observational. You got to stay emotionally detached from everything. You got to think things through logically and calmly and patiently. And be playing chess during the whole thing.
For sure.
So watching your next pair.
100%. Kayleen here is repping one of the sponsors, the Crepe Bar.
The crepe bar.
We need to go find it.
Yeah, you know what? A crepe does sound pretty tasty.
Yeah. Oh, crepes. Shout out to all the great sponsors again.
Yep. Thank you very much for sponsoring the tournament.
Ramsey Automotive. We talked about them yesterday.
Yep. Unwind,
Yep.
wellness. Yep.
That's a big one.
Big one. Wellness is huge.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of-
All right. Who we got? What do we got?
We're into game 5.
We are into game 5. I think Warren Eels made a ball change again. I'm changing to his screen to see. Let's see what he picks up. Let's see what we've got. Just kidding. I had hopes. Let's see. Maybe it's working.
He just had 160.
He sees something we don't, Matt.
Yeah. And so does, like, I'm not even going to go there. Not even going to. At least his ball speed slowed down.
Strike.
Yeah,
See?
at least
he
he
sees
slowed
it.
the ball
He
speed
sees
down.
Do you want to see if our friend Carl, Agent Ong,
Yeah.
wants to chat?
I'm going to go find Carl. Yep. And get water. I need water.
Fair.
All right.
We'll be back, folks.
Yep.
All right, friends, we are back, and I have secured Agent Ong as our
What's
guest.
going on? How are
How's-
you guys?
how's
Good
it-
morning.
How's it going, Carl?
Doing well. Doing well. How was last night after did you get some rest?
Of course, it
Good.
was great. It was a great action match. I think it was fun. I had picked Brooklyn Rob to win,
Okay.
as did Matt. So
I think we all did
yeah.
after watching the start of that match.
Well, even before in
I
the
mean-
morning, we were like, we're all in. I'm
Oh,
all in. Yeah.
That would tell you in-game betting last night.
Okay.
I think my odds would have been amazing if I was to take maximum odds.
Yeah.
I think he would give me plus 400 since Rob doesn't come back to win that match. So
Would you have done like a halftime switcheroo? You know how you can do that?
yeah, like
yeah,
I would have hedged the bet.
yeah.
Like early, man, Pure Shot looked great.
Oh yeah,
Rob was talking. It's like I've known Robert forever.
sure.
The man loves the self-talk.
Oh yeah,
So, and it was apparent that when he's talking to himself, he's in trouble.
yeah. And he was talking.
he was talking a lot to himself,
Yeah.
and but yeah, what a fun match.
It was great. Now, how did that come about? Did they come to you and no?
So-
Okay.
The inception of this whole action match thing started last year, where I talked to. This was year one. I had
Okay.
talked to Robert. I'm like, hey, I think it'd be fun if we did a little ancillary, because my goal for this tournament is not just a bowling tournament. I wanted to make it more of an event.
Sure.
So that's kind of what I wanted to do. So I wanted to think of what could I add that would maybe give something in the back for not just the players but fans.
Sure.
Come out, enjoy watching some of the best guys on the planet.
Yeah.
bowl.
For sure.
So I talked to Robert and I said, hey, what do you think about doing an action match one night after the squads and you doing an open challenge? So we talked about it. I go, what's the dollar amount? Am I buckling in and out again? Are you hearing me good?
I'm here. You are, but I don't know why.
Yeah, I think it's me because that's twice.
I know.
I'm not doing nothing. I promise.
Yeah.
No, we're good. So, anyways, we came up with a dollar amount, and he said, "Hey, I'll put up $1,000 a game, 5-game match, and we'll see who will show up and do it." And the next thing you know, Greg Thompson Jr. accepted the challenge. And here we are.
Cool. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. So with the Rob thing, Pure Shot actually put out an open challenge, and he called out Robert on his show.
Nice.
And and then they were talking how Robert's old and weathered and can't do anything. And the glory days of the '90s and 2000s long past. Maximum Bob and Robert caught wind and accepted the challenge pretty quickly.
That's fun.
And
yeah, their
then-
podcast is fun.
Yeah, and then then they negotiated the dollar amount amongst themselves and told me what it was,
Yeah,
and that's what happened.
I like it.
Yep, we have another one tonight. One more,
We do.
and that one, we have one of the participants bowling this morning, Andrew Kane.
So we were giving a shout out to the Crepe Bar because
Jeff.
we were watching Kayleen's. Kayleen has it on her jersey.
Yep.
And I told Matt, I go, we need to go find the Crepe Bar.
Oh, it's right down the street.
That's what Sean said. 4.5 miles away.
Yeah. So Jeff Krause, which you had an opportunity to meet, on Wednesday,
Fantastic. Yeah.
made our desserts for our dinner, and I'll tell you what. Not only is Jeff an amazing chef, he's a good bowler, and he's going to be out here participating this weekend. Can't wait to see him out here. But on top of all that, he's just a good guy. I mean, Jeff's just awesome.
Well, I just love that you have brought bowlers that own businesses or have connections within the community together, and that's one of my favorite parts of the tournament for sure.
No, I think we all should take care of each other. I think we all look out for each other, and that's how it's going to be. So, yeah.
I'm gonna switch headsets with you again.
Okay.
Hang on one sec. All right, we're gonna give this a go. Let's see here.
Okay. Well,
I-
you sound fine with using that headset, and I
It's
sound.
magic. I don't know. I have the magic touch. I don't know what.
I think it's either your magic touch or I'm black clouding this
Oh.
headset.
We are creating a black cloud animation to come through the screen at some point today, so stay tuned,
Oh, you.
folks, because we've black clouded enough people that it is time.
It's now a thing.
It is time.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Okay. Well.
Yeah. So anyway, we were talking about the community and the great groups that you've brought in to the tournament, and I just think it's great. I think it's fantastic, and if you are if you live here in Phoenix, we talked about it yesterday, but check out these places, right? You can see them scrolling throughout the stream.
Absolutely.
I'm trying to give everyone a little bit of coverage, so
No, there's so many people involved in this tournament, and I can sit here and thank all of them, and I
for
want
sure.
to because they've earned it. They've shown our support for us, and we can't thank them enough. So yeah, definitely thank you to all especially the bowlers. The participation here has been great. Yes, our morning squads are definitely on our lower end, but man, come this afternoon and all day tomorrow,
Yeah,
um, it's definitely going to be bustling.
I
So,
can't wait. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have we just mentioned that there were some players coming through,
Yeah.
PBA players that'll be making their way.
Yeah, they're on their way. I know you'll start catching glimpses of them starting at Friday today at 2 o'clock squad.
Perfect.
And then that will turn into potential participation in sweepers. So yeah, we have a jam-packed day and evening.
I cannot wait. It'll be fun. And then tomorrow will be a nonstop day again. You got the Desperado squad
Tomorrow night.
tomorrow night. 2 games
Yes.
to make it in.
Yep. 2 games, 1 and 8.
It's awesome. And you did talk about it yesterday, but we should mention it again. You have to bowl at least 2 squads to be qualified for that, right?
Yes, correct. Yeah, you had to have bowled 2 main event squads anywhere from Thursday 9 a.m. all the way through Saturday 6 p.m. Got to get 2 main event entries, not including sweepers, and you'll be eligible to bowl the Desperado. And I was taking at these scores, after through 5 through 6. Actually, right now, not including the squad, we are still at minus 36
Yeah.
currently. Yeah. So
Sam Cooley's putting on a consistency clinic this
yes,
morning.
I'm sure he is going to be up there and safe.
Yeah. Yeah, he's through 4 is plus 69.
Yeah.
Matt's week is plus 21 this morning. Andrew Kane, he's again very consistent, but I'm not sure he's pleased with his bowling this morning, minus a little bit.
No, I mean,
And where is he? Oh, he's finished down or he's on 13 and 14. Just making spares, which is key. Making your spares is key in this environment.
And somebody like Andrew, I think it's never enough.
Sure.
When you're that level, I just think that even if he's well inside the cut, I think there's always that room of like I could have did this, I could have did that.
Oh yeah.
So
that's what my dear friend Ron Hatfield told me long ago, that bowling, you do the same thing over and over and over and over and expect different results.
Right.
which is the definition of insanity. So technically, all bowlers are insane. we fit the bill.
I don't argue.
Yeah.
I do not argue. I mean, it's insane to. People thought I was insane to try to put this thing together as well. And I sometimes I still think I'm insane for doing it. So,
It's a great event though. You've got people coming all over. I heard Ed this
Godbu,
morning.
yeah.
Yep. And does he have a son bowling or a?
Yeah.
Okay, so Ed was talking with his son, and he was saying they're already planning for next year. He was talking to him about it, and he goes, "But we got to bring more people."
There you
So
go.
he's already kind of like, this is, he might. I don't think Ed is in the cut at the moment,
No,
but
he's definitely struggling for
yeah,
sure.
but he already has said, hey, we're in. We love this. We love this environment experience, and we want to bring more friends, that's what you want to hear, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's just trying to build something from the ground up. This, like, truly, I keep saying it. This is a grassroots tournament. It's just something that I came up with and picked the brains of a ton of people, including special guest Tim Mack yesterday.
Yes.
So,
We're
yeah.
hoping he'll swing back in
Oh,
today.
he's
for
on
sure.
his way.
Great.
He wanted to catch up on some Z's from a long day of travel yesterday,
That's great.
and he said he was going to get some breakfast and head on up to the bowl. So
Perfect.
I think we might catch him at the end of this squad. If not, definitely we'll be here for the 2 o'clock squad.
We'll
and the
throw
rest
him
of the
in the
day.
booth.
Yeah, I mean, you guys. Let me tell you, that action match last night wasn't just fun on the lanes. It was fun watching the three of you interact and just getting loud.
Yeah.
No, which is
Yeah.
good. I mean, that you guys
Yeah.
had a. I hope you guys had a good time in the booth.
Oh yeah, it's fun.
And just
it's
calling
great.
and catching
Yeah.
up at the same time.
Yeah, Matt. Yeah, it's fun. Matt and Tim and I. We don't get to see each other as frequently as you would think working
Right.
for Storm, right? But Tim lives in Indianapolis and Matt lives in Florida, and it's fun. It's great. And those two, man, if you are coming to the Agent Ong Open this weekend, and if you need someone to cheer you up, go straight to Tim Mack, because Tim Mack can make you feel like $100 all the time.
Yes.
And if you need someone to tell you about the history of bowling, or if you are a history bowling nut, and remember the 10th frame of the U.S. Open in 1982.
Third match.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Go find Matt McNeil, because I don't know how he remembers
like
all this
a-
stuff. I mean, we
It's
did
like a bowling almanac
Oh, it's fantastic. I mean, we just opened the
museum.
museum
Yeah.
in Utah a couple weeks ago, and Matt was hanging out in the museum and sharing stories about the bowling balls, and that was right where he should be. I mean, it's fantastic. So,
Yeah.
oh, Matt is weak. He is still holding on to his plus and adding to it this game.
Our defending champion.
Yes. So he's plus 21 going into this game. This is going to be a 215 max for him.
Yeah. At count best. Yeah. He's on pace.
Yeah.
But that's the difference of what squads are to come.
Mhm.
You know, it's really tough. You know,
Oh,
more entries means more spots.
yep.
More spots, but then the caliber of player is different now. I really, I'm holding my gun still. I still think zero's close. I'm still gonna sit there. I think everyone at this point is believing it's gonna be under.
Yeah.
I think that's truly where everyone's at.
Yeah. So I'm feeling less great about my minus 15, but I'm feeling pretty good about your even and Matt's -2.
So, you actually think it's gonna go back up? Because right now
minus
it's
15. Yeah.
okay.
Yep. That's where we set our bets at the fourth
Very
frame,
beginning, right,
fourth
of
frame,
game
right?
one.
And I was like, think it's minus. I was between 10 and 20, which is why I'm 15, right?
Right? No, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, yeah. So
You're
that's
hedging in the middle.
where I think it'll be. Now Matt said -2, and you're in even. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Going back to the sweeper, I just want to mention the difference of what took to win
Hmm.
the sweepers last night. It's just for anybody that's on the fence about bowling the sweepers. We guarantee the payout of $1,000
Fantastic.
per squad.
Yeah.
Because there was a little bit of confusion yesterday. I had a few people come up to me and say, "Hey, I'm not going to bowl the 830 sweeper because I'm not shooting 540 for two."
Sure.
I go, "You don't need to shoot 540. You're
The
not
score
chasing.
dropped.
Right, you're
Man.
not chasing that number." Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
So then they entered.
Hmm.
So for anybody that's listening out here, they are completely separate amongst themselves. It is completely standalone. What happens at 6 o'clock has no relevance to 8:30.
Yeah. I mean, we
So-
had someone watching in the chat that bowled the 6 p.m. sweeper and didn't bowl 8:30, and his score would have cashed in the 8:30 sweeper.
Right, it took 420 to make $1,000 in a 2-game set last night at 8:30.
Yeah. It's awesome.
So anybody that's on the fence, Brooklyn Rob got last check, and I believe he was minus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
So 2020 makes you money.
100%. Yeah. Let's see, I'll pull the sweepers up.
Yeah,
So
I think it's that one right above it. AOOTH 830 South.
What- which one?
The second squad. Sorry, I think it's the one right above it.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, there you
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. So Justin, Matt, and Rob. Yep. And he was minus.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's a big variance. It was a 120 pin swing to win a sweeper.
100%.
So for everybody that's on the fence, come on out.
Why not?
Get in the 2 o'clock squad and stick around for the 6 and 8:30 sweepers because, guys, I'm paying.
Yeah.
Whether you're here or not, someone's taking home this cash, so
It's cool.
it might as well be you.
Right. And it's on the tournament pattern. It's not on a house shot. So you get more feel if you're bowling tomorrow. I mean, even if you're not at the 2 p.m. squad, maybe you're coming in later, right?
Yeah.
Driving in today. Get a
Have
little
all day
first
tomorrow.
glimpse of the shot. So
Take a peek.
all right, Carl, we're going to take a short break while everyone changes lanes, and then we are going to have our final game of the round of, the
Squad 3.
qualifying squad this morning. We'll be right back.
All good.
Thanks for watching. This has been the 2024 Agent Ong Open, presented by the Agent Ong team, live from Bolero Kyrene in Chandler, Arizona. The preceding was a presentation of Storm Bowling, of Rotogrip, and 900 Global. Again, thanks for watching the 2024 Agent Ong Open, presented by the Agent Ong team.